Dear President Zelensky, dear Volodymyr, dear Chancellor Scholz, dear President von der Leyen, dear President Metsola, dear Ukrainian friends, ladies and gentlemen, Charlemagne is the patron saint of European unity. Today, this unity is being put to the test. In these uncertain, dark times, we need people willing to defend the ideals of European and Western civilization. Volodymyr Zelensky is such a man. After February 24th, it became clear that two visions were at odds with each other. The first, Europe's dream of a community of sovereign nations in solidarity with one another concerning the common good. And the second, the Russian colonial and chauvinistic dream of power, resounding with imperialistic overtones and showing no regard for human life. The Ukrainian nation's response to the Russian invasion has provided a strong impetus for the reintegration of the European Union. Today, Ukraine is the outermost point of a united Europe. It is Ukraine which defends our freedom at its frontiers. Aachen is a city that symbolizes the unity of Europe. The tomb of Charlemagne is located in the cathedral here. The prize for Volodymyr Zelensky and admiration for the fighting spirit of the Ukrainian nation invite us also to reflect on the sources of our Europeanness. Who are we? Who do we wish to avoid becoming? Let us look for answers to these questions. If we want to describe the history of Europe in the last decades of the 20th century as briefly as possible, we can use the concepts of disintegration and reunification. The Polish movement of solidarity, and the fall of the Berlin Wall became a symbol not only of the fall of the totalitarian communist system, but also of the reunification of the whole of Europe. The collapse of the Soviet Union was the beginning of a journey of the nations of our region towards unity in a common Europe. Annexed territories were returned to their rightful owners. And the nations of Europe could finally be returned to Europe. What Europe means? Europe means cooperation above competition and unity in diversity. The collapse of the Russian Communist Empire allowed a release of energy and hope that had been suppressed for many decades of enslavement. All nations hope for freedom, sovereignty, and security. Europe should also resemble a local community. If a fire breaks out, neighbors come to each other's mutual aid. If someone gets sick, no one turns their back on them. The strength of European civilization is cooperation, its foundation is solidarity, and its heart and driving force are the desire for freedom. Europe is not just an old continent, a museum of beautiful ideas and values. Europe is a living community with a very rich cultural heritage that has radiated across the world for centuries. Enlightenment thinkers in the service of absolutist powers divided Europe into East and West. This division was meant to justify the exploitation of Central and Eastern Europe by Imperial Russia and give Westerners peace of conscience and a sense of moral superiority. We need to revise that division. There is no place for the image of an uncivilized East to which someone, preferably a strong man, a tyrant in the Kremlin, must bring order. Today, the uncivilized East is a barbaric Moscow that has become an inhumane land. Neither Ukraine nor any Eastern European country is a brother nation, inverted commas, of Russia. It is not brotherhood, but centuries of exploitation, colonialization, and imperialism.